on the market for a 130cc motorcycle that offers reliability, efficiency, and not too jazzy looks, the obvious choice so far has been the Honda CB Unicorn. And if you want the same sort of reliability and efficiency in a slightly sportier package, well, the same showroom also sells you the CB Trigger. But now Honda has decided that there exists a gap between their most basic 150 offering, the Unicorn, and its sportier sibling, the Trigger. And they've decided to plug this gap with a brand new Unicorn, the CB Unicorn 160. Now you might think that this is just the same old Unicorn with a facelift, but that's actually quite far from the truth. Honda has done their homework really well, and this bike has been upgraded mechanically in every which way. It's pretty clear how good this new Unicorn looks, but some features really stand out. The headlight. The new headlight cowl sports a much sharper design, it looks a lot sportier than before, and it also features this brand new digital console. It's very clean, very easy to read, it has all the info that you need, it has trip meters, it also has a clock. The only thing missing maybe is a gear indicator. Apart from that, the bike now sports a nice chunky exhaust that looks really nice. What I also like about the bike is the paint schemes. Honda offers only solid paint schemes, no stickers. I think that looks very, very classy. And if you look at the back of the bike, the tail light, that's a lovely addition. It has the shape of an H, like the Honda H logo. I think that just looks brilliant when you put the brakes on. Some things, of course, do stick out like sore thumbs, primarily the switch gear. Now that looks like it's from the 80s. Honda, that's not working. Even the old Unicorn had much better switch gear than this bike. Some of the plastics, especially the center panels, feel a little bit flimsy. But apart from that, everything fits together fairly well. And I think overall, it's just a lovely looking motorcycle. As I've said before, the biggest changes to the Unicorn have been in its mechanicals. So let's start with the engine. The old Unicorn had a 149cc engine. This one is a 163cc. That's the highest capacity in this class. Now Honda says that this is an all-new engine, but what Honda has actually done is taken the engine from the old Unicorn and tweaked every little bit of it until it's pretty much all new. What that means is this engine delivers more horsepower and more torque. Now this makes 14.5 PS of power, which is quite a lot up from the old Unicorn, and it's even more than the Trigger. This is among the highest power figures in this class. And when it comes to torque, it's 14.61 Newton meters. That is the highest figure in this segment. But that's enough talk about the bike's mechanicals. What's most important is how it rides. So let's get this bike on the road. The gearbox has stayed pretty much the same, but the final drive ratios have been changed a little bit. So the gearing is a bit taller now. That means the torque is spread much better throughout the rev range. In fact, at any speed, in any gear, if you open the throttle, the bike responds fairly well. In terms of other mechanicals, while the chassis remains pretty much the same, the wheelbase has now been dropped. The wheelbase is now 1324mm. That's 16mm lower or lesser than the previous Unicorn. The ground clearance too has been reduced. Now it's just 150mm. That's 29mm down from the previous bike. With regards to other things like brakes, they stay pretty much the same as the previous bike, but what's been added is Honda's CBS, that's the Combi-Brake system. So if you press the rear brake pedal, it will also engage the front brake. When you start riding the Unicorn 160, one thing becomes very clear, and that's just how refined this engine is. It's very smooth at any RPM. And when you combine the bike's ultra low weight of just 135 kilos with all that extra horsepower and torque, you get quite a bit of performance as well. Of course, the acceleration isn't mind-blowing, but 0 to 100 still comes up in about 15 seconds, and that's really not bad for this segment. Even in terms of mileage, again thanks to the lower weight and the HET Honda Eco technology in the engine, the bike, according to Honda, manages 62 kmpl. Well, on the highway we got about 59 kmpl, and in the city we got 52, and that's really saying something for this segment. On the handling front, Of course, the Honda handles really well. While Honda might have given more horsepower and more torque to the Unicorn, it remains primarily a commuter motorcycle, and that's very apparent from the ergonomics. The posture on the motorcycle is very commuter friendly. The foot pegs are quite far forward and the handlebars are tall yet a bit narrow. Not the best sort of posture for sport riding, but definitely a lovely motorcycle for your daily commute. The seat on the other hand is a little too hard, which should do okay for your daily city ride, but for long distances that could be a bit of a problem. Now handling has been the forte of all Honda bikes, and this one really takes it up a notch. Again, it's the bike's lightness that makes all the difference. The front end feel is nice and light, so when you're maneuvering the bike in traffic, it's really easy and really quick. Of course, that being said, the same light front end makes it a little nervous if you're attacking corners really fast, but that's not what this bike is meant to do. All other things it does very well. But my favorite part about this Unicorn has to be the ride quality. Yes, the bike does tend to pitch on the braking and acceleration, but the ride is quite firm, it's quite nice, it's quite planted, and it handles bumps and potholes really well. Overall, it's a very comfortable bike under all road conditions. Well, that was the Honda CB Unicorn 160, a lovely premium commuter motorcycle that checks a lot of the right boxes. The only box it does not check, at least in my book, is the pricing. Now the Unicorn 150, the old one, is for 16,000 rupees ex-showroom Delhi. This one is for 72 grand, and that's without CBS. You add the Combi-Brake system, then it's 77,000 rupees ex-showroom Delhi. Now that's a very pricey motorcycle. It puts it in the same price bracket as the CB Trigger, and the Trigger is supposed to be one notch higher than this bike. So what exactly is Honda's plan with these three bikes? Well, we are not too sure, but what we get for your money is a bike that looks quite good, it rides well, the engine is fantastic, it's efficient, and of course a Honda, so it will be reliable as well. And more importantly, the styling is something that won't offend anybody. The appeal of this bike is a lot more universal as compared to some other bikes in the segment launched last year. Now whether that thing works for Honda, only time will tell.